Some folks sure got a strange idea of entertainment.
Like this. Welcome to the Mind Your Movies podcast. I'm Ryan,
I'm Shane.
and today we're talking, well, Friday 13th, since
Yeah.
when this releases, tomorrow is Friday 13th. So
Yeah. Happy Thursday the 12th. Happy Friday the 13th.
that's right. So we're here to tell you the definitive tier list on Friday 13th movies.
Yeah, these are
Um,
all facts. There are no opinions in this video. Anyone who disagrees is wrong.
that's right.
Great way
Exactly.
to start a video.
Yes, that's right. Nobody can get angry at us because we're just right.
Yeah. No,
um,
we thought this would be a fun idea, given the time of Friday the 13th coming up. And yeah, this is just our opinions. Feel free to disagree, comment down below your your thoughts on this, but yeah, I think this will be fun.
Yeah, curious what people will be watching tomorrow. I mean, I know on Friday 13th, I'm usually going to be watching one of these movies. So curious what you all will be watching. So if you take our advice and you pick the top of our tier list, that's great. Let us know what you're going to be watching, though, even if it's the bottom of our list. Tell us.
If I had to watch one right now for like Friday the 13th, I might throw on Jason X.
I was thinking about Jason X this year. I'm just finishing off an
Nice.
astronomy unit in classes. So it's like, you know what? Let's go to space.
The most space accurate movie of all time.
Obviously. Yeah.
All completely factual.
It's actually a documentary.
All right, let's get into the tier list. Start with we're gonna go in chronological order. So we start with the original Friday the 13th from 1980.
Yeah, Sean Cunningham directed this one and went on to like kind of somewhat be involved with the rest of the movies, at least on and off, but kind of was
Yeah,
really attached to the series, of course.
yeah, and the reason there hasn't been a movie since 2009, I believe there's like rights issues, and maybe Sean Cunningham is like one of the parties involved in like the dispute over who has the rights to the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Um
But
I think that sounds right. I think he was involved in trying to get the rights after at least after like Jason Goes to Hell or something. I forget. There's a long chain of rights issues with pretty much this whole series actually.
mm,
But
yeah,
and
but
this
yeah, the
is
first.
yeah, the first one early in the slasher hood of movies. Really doesn't tell you much about the characters. It just lets you watch them die, which is kind of the one of the early
Yeah.
parts, one of the early slashers, and letting you do that, right?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's in it. Gets the arrow through the deck. Yeah. Also, spoiler alert: if anyone hasn't
Yeah,
seen these movies, we're gonna probably spoil them all.
yeah,
But that's probably the most iconic kill. But it has the killer POV, and
mm-hmm.
then obviously, spoiler warning: the killer is not actually Jason. This is the only movie.
Which is awesome. I love that. I think it's such a cool. I think this is such a cool movie. I think originally Jason jumping out of the water at the end was kind of a joke. Like it was just thrown in there, and the idea of doing more of these movies was originally going to be like an anthology of. I don't know if they might have all been around the Crystal Lake, or maybe they were just all going to all be around the day Friday 13th, kind of like
Hmm.
Halloween.
Yeah,
But then everyone loved Jason, so they just ran with it.
yeah. I guess it worked out. Created maybe the most iconic slasher villain, probably.
Took a while to get the
Um,
footing though. I mean, like the
yeah,
mask,
true.
right? But
Yeah, the mask doesn't come in for a little while. But the first one, so on this tier list, this ranking is all relative to Friday the 13th movies. So the S tier here, we're not exactly saying is on par with Citizen Kane. It's just the best of this series.
right.
Um, yeah. Otherwise, none of these would be S tier movies, to be honest. But
Yeah.
within the series, the first one, I have to be honest, I would not put this in S tier.
Yeah, I
It
figured you would say that.
it's not my favorite. I think it's a step below my. I got a couple that are my clear favorites. I think the kills are a little weak.
Mhm.
The acting's not great. The characters aren't great. It's okay, and it's pretty iconic because it starts the series. But I'd probably put this in either A or B tier, personally.
I would love this in A tier.
A tier, okay.
If that's cool. I'm a big
Yeah.
stand for originals in the slashers, especially. I don't know. I'm a sucker for the
Mm.
first thing. So this would probably be like S tier for me, but I'm happy with it in A tier. I think it's
All
cool that
right.
it does something different than the rest. and some of them really have a hard time distinguishing themselves. But
Yeah, that's true. I could. So if you were making this, it would be S tier for you.
yes, and if you were, it would be either A or B. So
Yeah,
we'll settle with A.
yeah. I think top of A tier makes sense.
Excellent. I like that.
Now we have part two, which comes out just 1 year later. Real quick turnaround. This one we get, Jason is the killer. He has the sack sack over his head rather than the mask. Pretty good final girl in this movie, from what I remember. I forget the Ginny
Ginny,
Field.
yes.
I feel like she's one of the better final girls in the movie in this series. And yeah, this one is just okay to me.
I agree. I think this one, I think a lot of people really like this one. And I kind of find it kind of mid. I definitely, I mean, I like it a lot more than some of the later movies, but it doesn't really, I mean, like a lot of that later movies also don't take themselves very seriously and they do a lot of goofy stuff.
Yeah,
And that's, I think, where this really pays off a lot. And number two, there's really, it is taking itself still pretty seriously. And,
yeah.
uh, and it's fine. I think I'd rewatch it every once in a while, but it's not one I'm rewatching this year. I'm looking for a goofy one this year.
Yeah, yeah, they haven't really figured out the formula. I think this is probably either a B or a C for me.
Yeah, I'd be happy with either of those. Maybe let's throw it in B for now, just to,
Yeah, sure.
and then we can always move it around. But
Yeah, yeah, this is all subject to change. Also, if
yeah,
anyone's just listening on the podcast, we'll do a little recap at the end. But if you're on the YouTube, we got the visual, so that's good.
yeah.
All right.
Um,
Part three is the 3D one. You got a lot of 3D shenanigans, things popping at the screen. You got that biker gang. Yeah, part three, honestly, kind of similar to part two to me, but it does start to get silly. More of a silly tone.
yes, and this one, he actually gets the hockey mask, which is interesting.
Yes.
He's also hiding in a barn for a lot of this one. Is that right? Like for the
Yeah.
whole movie?
Yeah, there's a lot of barn stuff in this movie. Kind of weird.
Yeah, which I mean, it's fine, but it was kind of, it's like, he kind of slowly picks them off, pretty much like in the barn for much of the movie. So, would have liked more stuff going on, I think. But
Yeah, this one is also pretty mid. This one I agree, either B or C. I think I don't know if I would put it above or below part two. What do you think?
yeah, it's tough. I haven't seen either of these two in a bit, but I would probably put three above two in my current head canon. But
All right.
I don't
Oh,
know.
sure. That sounds good to me. They're honestly, both of them are just okay to me. Neither stands out too much.
Yeah, same.
So,
Maybe what if we do this for now? So let's throw three in B tier
oof.
and
Nah, put them in the
two.
same. They should be in
All
the
right.
same tier, I think. Put
Well,
them
maybe
both in
let's do
C.
this.
Yeah, put them
Yeah,
both in
yeah.
C.
As
Yeah.
as we're talking about them, I'm already like, I think there's gonna be stuff in between number one and number three. So
Yeah, there should be a bigger gap,
yeah.
probably. That makes sense.
So we've got
Now,
C tier with three and two. That makes more sense.
yes, I think that's better. So we got Friday the 13th, the original in A tier. We got part three and part two in C tier. And now we got part four, the final chapter. I think this
It,
is where the series really finds its footing. Maybe the best. It's got the great Tom Savini special effects. Um, it's got Corey Feldman is in this one. It's got sort of the family and the teenagers. I feel like this is one of the best written movies in the series. And I feel like this is where it all comes together. And this is one that I would put in S tier.
this one also, I remember, has a very uh memorable, I guess, like opening sequence where he's in the morgue and kills I think there's the mortician and maybe an assistant or something, and he kills both them. And
Yeah.
it's just a very recognizable opening. And with these movies, I think it's just nice to have, like, when you think about a movie and you can distinctly remember kills or you can distinctly remember sequences and stuff, other than just like the plot. I think that's really helpful with these movies because that's kind of why you're watching them, right? So being able to look back and remember those is good. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to throw this in S tier. I think,
Hell yeah.
thinking back, I think I probably on my own would probably not have an S tier, but I would definitely have it high up. So I'm happy with throwing in there for now and seeing how things move around.
All right, all right. I'm not against putting it down in A tier, but we'll see. We'll see
Well,
how it goes.
yeah, we can leave it for now. Also, it's kind of funny in our little pictures here. Uh, the little hockey mask, which is the cover, the poster for the final chapter, is right above the little body
Oh
silhouette
yeah.
in number one. So that kind of works out great.
Yeah, there you
Um,
go.
Also, since that's the final chapter, we are all done. So let us know what you think of the tier list. Of course, this series ended in '84, and they never made any more, especially not the year after. That'd be crazy.
No, that would be crazy. It would be crazy for them the year after to make a movie and have Jason not be the killer. That wouldn't make any sense.
That'd be awful. Who would do
That'd be
that?
that'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
That'd be
Oh
so
no.
bad.
It'd
Oh,
be a new beginning.
what's that? What's that? They did make this. Oh,
Yeah, this one is not good.
I don't like this one.
No, a new beginning. Maybe one of the most boring in the series.
Yes. And while I was just saying that sometimes they need to like try something new, this one really just tries to like move away from Jason in a way that really doesn't help the movie at all. It's it's like the uninteresting person. There's like an uninteresting guy, and that's all you get. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think this is the one where it's like there's like a group of it's like there's like one actual kid and then there's a bunch of adults that are supposed to be kids, but I think they're all
Yeah,
supposed to be the same age.
yeah, and yeah, that's right. At like the halfway house or something, or
Yeah,
whatever.
something.
And yeah, and I think the reason is like they wanted to use like adults for the kills, probably, like in all these movies they don't really want to be killing off
Actual
young
children.
people, right?
Yeah.
And the main character here was actually kind of young, right? Was this
Yeah.
Tommy? Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah, yeah. Tommy's in this one. And then there's also Reggie. I think Reggie is the kid I'm thinking of, where Reggie is
Oh
like,
yes,
because there's a
at
group
the
of like
end.
teenagers, and Reggie's only like, he looks like an actual like 13-year-old or something. But then all the
Yeah,
other quote unquote teenagers look like they're about 30.
that's right, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
um
Also, this is the movie that features Deborah Voorhees, who that is her
yes.
name. Her name is Voorhees.
That's so crazy. She was
Yeah.
destined to be in these movies at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Destined to be
um
topless in a Friday the 13th movie.
yes,
Quite,
unfortunately it was this one. So
yeah, not a strong one. I would put this D tier. It's not the worst of the worst, but it's pretty poor.
I'd also be happy D tier. I would consider this either D or F tier, but I know that there's more that are going to be in F tier, so I'm
Yeah,
happy.
there's one or two that I think are significantly worse than this
Yeah,
one.
that's fair. Big jump in quality.
Yeah.
Speaking of a big jump in quality,
Yeah.
when we get to number six, this is now this when I was talking about opening sequences. Uh,
Yeah.
this is an opening sequence. They like Frankenstein him, and it's Tommy again, and I think he has like a fence post or a flagpole or something, and he accidentally stabs or he stabs him at a rage maybe or something, his grave, and then
They
lightning strikes it, and Jason just comes back to life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this movie is awesome. This one has to be S tier to me. To me, this is
Yeah.
clearly the best in the series.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect culmination of everything. The silliness is perfect. The writing is actually pretty clever and funny. And this is just like by far the most enjoyable for me. One that I could really see myself rewatching like many, many times. So that's is where I'm saying if this was S tier, I wouldn't mind putting the number four down in A tier with the original
I'm happy with that.
because
Let's
I
do
think
that.
that might be a little more,
Yeah. I those are
makes sense.
very different movies, and I feel like four and one are kind of are more similar in their quality and what they're doing and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
and then part six is on that goofier trend and very
yeah,
iconic and very fun, and also the special effects of the zombie uh
yeah,
Jason is awesome.
yeah. It might be. It's one of the best Jason designs for sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
And then of course also at the end, there's a cool he actually like chains him to a boulder and puts him in the lake.
yeah, yeah. There's that whole cool sequence. Yeah, this one is very cool. They also have a pretty big cast of people to be killed off, and pretty creative kills, I feel like, in this one.
Yeah.
So I think this is just the best crafted movie, and it's also the most like entertaining and fun of them
I
all.
would agree with that definitely. This is really where you're getting cool special effects. You're getting more interesting kills. You're getting an actually like kind of fun story that's like goofy and everything. Yeah, like you said, it all kind of pieces together for something cool here.
Yeah, there is the classic Tommy and there's a girl and the girl's dad is a cop and he doesn't like Tommy, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that this movie rocks.
Speaking of rocks, Jason is trapped on that stone. He's chained to that stone, that rock in the lake, and then you know who else died in that lake is some lady's dad, and she tries to bring him back with her telekinetic powers, and she accidentally brings back Jason
Yeah.
in the New Blood #7.
Yeah, this one is actually I like this one.
Yeah,
This is one of the better ones in the series. It's kind of insane, this lady with telekinetic powers. Just completely crazy direction to go with the series. But I remember this one actually being pretty entertaining.
yeah. This is funny too because this one I think it starts with her literally rising him from the grave from the lake. And doesn't
Mhm.
this one end with her using her telekinetic powers to essentially banish him in the lake again?
I
He
honestly I
likes
don't remember for sure. I remember there's like a sequence in the basement and isn't there like
yeah.
the house gets destroyed and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, definitely some crazy stuff
There
happens.
might be like an explosion. Does a house explode?
Oh my god, maybe. I would
I
not
can't
get it.
remember. I can't
But
remember.
I'm pretty sure at the end she literally like sinks him in the ocean with or in the lake with her telekinetic powers. And there's like that you know, he rises from there. She rises him from there in the beginning and then banishes him there in the end. So it's kind of like, we're back to the beginning again, which is
Right.
kind of a very funny consequence for these movies.
Yeah, I mean these movies are like horror sitcoms. It's
Yes,
just you need just every at the end of every episode, it's like, all right, the characters are back where it needs to be for the
right.
comedy to ensue or for the horror to ensue.
And I think it feels like this one's very self-aware of that in that literally just putting him back where she found
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So
I think this one's pretty good actually. I'd probably put it in B tier.
yeah, I can see that. I would put this one either B or A tier, but again, I think my
Oh,
A
okay.
tier would also not have #1. I think #1 would be an S tier for me. So
I
uh,
get you. Yeah, I think this is definitely not A tier. I don't think it's that good.
all right. I think I have positive memories of this one,
Yeah.
but I'm
I do
happy with B
remember.
tier.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
realistically, we haven't watched any of these movies super recently, so that's why we don't our memories are a little foggy. But
right. It's been a while.
and these movies
Um,
can tend to blend together a little bit.
yeah, so yeah, some of the kills, I don't remember where all the kills are from. Like, uh, some of them you're like, oh, I remember maybe this happened, but like, was it in this one or this one?
Yeah.
And then also like even the telekinetic powers, I'm like, was there another time when there were when there was telekinetic powers in this series?
I
For
don't think so. This is the only
no,
one.
wasn't there a kid with?
Uh
Wait,
in the final chapter, he what?
I think I'm thinking of Halloween. God damn it,
Yeah, I think so.
Halloween 5 or something.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it's, literally all these
There you go.
movies kind of blend together. Um, well, this
This is
I
where
hate
it takes it.
I hate to say it.
I will say the first one came out in 1980.
Yeah,
Now it is only 1989, and we're on the
right.
eighth movie. They've been cranking these movies out almost one a year. 83 is the only year there wasn't a new Friday the 13th. Oh, and 87. Um, but yeah, number 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Uh, this one's probably F tier.
Yeah, this one sucks. Um,
Yeah, this is
if
the boat movie with about 10 minutes of Manhattan at the end.
yes, if nothing else, this movie is just a lie. It says Jason takes Manhattan, and Jason punches one guy's head off in Manhattan, and I think
That
that's
is a
the
very funny kill, though.
the only good part of this movie, perhaps. And
Yeah.
you have to trudge through I don't even know how long. Probably only like 80 minutes, but still, you have to trudge through like 80 minutes of him on a boat.
Yeah, it's bad. The stuff in Manhattan, there's like 3 minutes where it's like, ooh, this is actually good, but then there's the him like disappearing in the sewers and all that stupid ending,
Yeah, terrible.
not great.
Also, I'm pretty sure like all of the New York parts are actually shot in Vancouver, and it's like kind of obviously not actually like New York is a very iconic like uh cityscape and everything, right?
Wait, isn't he in Times Square though?
Is he?
I feel like he was in Times Square,
Oh, he might be
but
at one
they
point, but
honestly they could have just shot like one
yeah.
night of him in Times Square walking through, and then everything else they could have shot in Vancouver. Who knows?
Yeah, I think something like that might have happened, but either way, boo.
Yeah, this one is not good at all.
It's
And the
yeah. Uh,
the guy getting his head punched off is pretty funny though.
yeah, by far the best part of the movie. And but
Yeah.
also I remember when I watched it, I remember kind of being like, actually, I think I was watching it with you and one of our other friends. And when that happened, you guys were both like, yeah. And I was honestly just so done with the movie. I was like, I don't even care anymore. Like, you
I
got,
thought that was quite
yeah.
funny.
Yeah. But I don't think it made up for everything else.
No, the movie stinks, but there's one funny kill in it, so there's something.
Speaking of movies that
Um,
stink,
this one is to me the absolute worst.
yeah, this one doesn't have a
Uh,
guy's head getting punched off.
yeah, number nine, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, another lie in the title, not The Final
Yes.
Friday.
And he
Uh,
doesn't go to hell until the very end.
yeah, he just like, yeah, it's pretty bad. There's like the little like snail thing is kind of like an okay little practical effect, I guess. Because they do, isn't it like stop motion? The
Yeah.
little, yeah.
Either was it stop motion or a puppet, I forget, but it was something I remember
Yeah.
seeing that and liking it because it was cool. But like again, the one cool thing in your movie can't make up for the movie being dog shit otherwise.
Yeah, it is very bad. It feels very made for TV. It's just pretty poorly done and not enjoyable.
And then at the end, they throw like he gets pulled into hell, and Freddy Krueger's glove gets left on the grave, like he's the one that pulled him into hell, and it's like setting up the crossover that actually doesn't happen for another like decade.
Yeah.
Um, I know they had to like this was they're not owned by the same company, so there was obviously some rights that had to get sorted out, but pretty ambitious to advertise it at the end of the movie and then not make it happen for a while. But whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's why it was so much hype for Freddy vs. Jason. But before Freddy vs. Jason, the iconic Jason X, Jason in
Yes,
space, complete
yes.
silly madness, very enjoyable, very campy. I like this one.
Yeah, he gets frozen at the like beginning of the movie. There's like, isn't there like I think at the beginning of this movie there's like an FBI squad that tries to take him down, and then they end up freezing him and someone else on accident or something. I don't know, but then he gets thawed in space, and it's awesome.
Yeah, he freezes someone and like crushes their head, their frozen
Yeah,
head, right?
yeah. And
Yeah,
he also gets rebuilt part robotic here, or part I guess not really
cyborg.
robotic. Yeah, cyborg. I guess it's like metal. He gets like metal limbs. I don't know if he's really
Yeah,
a robot or not. But
I think that'd be a cyborg if you're
yeah,
part Jason, part robot. That's a cyborg, right? But
yeah,
yeah, this movie has some very funny and cheesy like green screens and like early 2000s special effects, which kind of just adds to the charm to me
right.
of just having this be like a campy, silly movie. So yeah, this one it's not so well made, but it has high rewatch value and it's very enjoyable. So where would you put this on the tier
S
list?
tier
S tier, Jesus Christ, this
with
guy's
the
crazy.
with the list that we have right now. I would because I would definitely put it
Really,
above the final chapter,
really.
but it doesn't have to.
I was gonna say B tier.
Oh,
I was gonna say
it?
top.
What if we put it eight? Well, A tier is a little. We already got two things in there.
Oh, you could put it top of A tier if you want it to be above
See, it's tough because I want
part
it to be
four.
above four, but I want it to be below one. But
Right.
I could settle with it. I mean, I guess just above four still works. One is already kind of out of place for me, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. But let's
Would you
just do
be
that.
Would you be okay with it in A tier, even though it's more of a B tier movie for you?
Yeah, why not? Start. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, Cyborg Jason.
Yeah, we can do whatever the hell we want.
Definitive list here.
Now our A tier is all out of order for all of us. It's
Yeah.
all both of us. It's out of whack, so that works.
Yeah. Exactly. That's you know what? When you're co-hosting a podcast and making a definitive tier list of movies, sometimes you got to make compromises to make
You
it
gotta
definitive.
you gotta make sure we're both unhappy with the list. But yeah, I do think it is like probably a step up above like part seven. So I
Mhm.
think A tier does make sense on this tier list. I understand that.
Cool. Yes.
But now, what do you think about Freddy versus Jason?
I'm so conflicted about this one every time I watch it because Freddy versus Jason is such a cool idea and it has cool stuff going on. Um, but it also has a lot of exposition, a lot of like story that you don't really need. Like, like in this movie, Freddy brings Jason back. He resurrects Jason to help scare people on Elm Street enough so that he can then haunt them because he can't haunt them because they're not scared or something. And then
Hmm.
and then he gets mad because Jason doesn't stop killing them and he wants to kill them. And then they start fight. And it's like, bro, just show us them fighting. Like, I don't
They
know.
fight it. They fight quite a bit at the end, I think, though, right?
Yes. And the end scene is off. And honestly, like even some of the kills in this movie I think are pretty memorable, but I don't know. Like I'm left conflicted with like how do you make this movie without having a bunch of kids that you have to kill off, right? Because that's kind of what these movies are. So it makes sense they had to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I'm
This one,
conflicted. Yeah, it kind of evens out for me, maybe.
yeah, I get that. I remember when we rewatched all these movies and I rewatched this one, I was a little bit let down from my memory of it. I remembered it being a little bit better than it was. But yeah, I think this one's somewhere in the middle of our tier list, maybe like C or B tier.
Yeah, I'm happy. Well, you know what? We only have one thing in B tier right now. What about bottom of B tier?
Sure, I think that makes sense.
And then the remake.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on the remake?
I don't love the remake. There's I don't know. It's kind of I don't know that I have much thoughts on the remake.
That's fair.
It's just okay. The kills are okay. It's very dark. The whole
Yeah.
movie's very dark. There's a lot of nudity in it. There's some kind of annoying characters.
Yeah.
Um, this one again, I'd probably put this in like C tier. Like I think it's okay. If you're gonna rewatch it with a group of friends on Friday the 13th, it's not gonna ruin your night, but it's definitely not one of the best of the series in my opinion.
Yeah. This interesting thing was happening with these like mid 2000 remakes, late 2000, I guess. This is 2009, but whatever. Where they're like really dark. Nightmare on Elm Street, when they remade that one, it's like a fairly decent movie, but it's so dark and kind of like grotesque, and it's like very explicit about Freddy Krueger being like pedophile. And this one they kind of do like it's very dark and very kind of literally gritty. And I remember there's even like there's the tunnels and he kidnaps the girl. And but then there's also the weird tonal dissonance with like like we talked about, he stabs that lady who's in the water like right in the head, and then he pulls her
Yep.
up and her boobs just flap out of the water.
Yep.
And it's like,
And there's like the silly stoner guy, right? It's
yeah.
it's a little weird. The movie's almost a little bit mean-spirited,
Mhm.
which kind of like conflicts with the silliness in it a little bit. It felt like a little too dark and like reveling in the misery of the characters, I think.
Right. I'm pretty sure at one point in this, there's like a campfire and he ties someone in a sleeping bag above that campfire. And it's just like so torturous. And it's very like, it's not actually enjoyable to watch someone get killed that way. Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
I guess kind of weird to say it's enjoyable to watch people get killed anyways, but like, like you watch these slasher movies for like interesting, fun kills, and that's more of like a Saw type kill or something.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if that is maybe a Saw influence with Saw being
Um,
kind of the biggest franchise at this time, right?
That's probably true. Yeah, people were going a little darker and grittier with these remakes, maybe because of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But
And
yeah,
this
so
is post like Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and yeah.
right. Yeah, so I think, and also, I often forget that this movie tries to fit in like three movies in it because it has like the flashback sequence in the very beginning that's just like
Right.
black and white, and it shows the mom as a killer, and then he watches the mom's head get chopped off or something, and then also there's like another section of time where there's a group that comes to the lake and he kills them really quickly, the stoners and everyone. And then there's the other group that Jared Padalecki's character is like trying to get them to help look for his sister. And that group kind of lasts a little bit longer, but like it's like three whole movies somehow, and none of them really work.
Yeah, it's kind of a try. They're trying to remake all three of the first three movies, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm thinking like bottom of C or top of D tier.
I think C. I think D
C.
might be a little harsh
All right.
because part
Well,
five is pretty boring.
Part five is that is one thing about this movie is there's a lot. This might have the highest kill count, which
Yeah, it
like
could.
if you're just looking for that, there you go. But
Yeah. I think
um,
this is fair. Bottom of C
yeah,
tier right there. I think that makes
yeah.
sense.
Well, let's just go over it, see if this is where we like it to be. We've got S tier with Jason Lives, A tier with Jason X, and part four, the final chapter, and the original movie. We've got B tier with Jason uh number seven. What's this one called? God.
Number six.
New no.
I no, I'm also forgetting what number seven is
Jesus, that's
called. Number seven is called The New
the
Blood.
new blood. The
Yeah.
new blood, which is number seven, and Freddy versus Jason. C tier has part three, part two, and the remake. D tier has a new beginning. No, wait.
Yeah. Part
Yeah.
five, A New Beginning.
Jesus Christ. There's the new blood and a new beginning. God, I hate
Yeah.
this. F tier has Jason Takes Manhattan and Jason Goes to Hell, the final thing, which is the second final of the series.
Yes. But well, actually, yeah, second of three, because for now the
Yeah.
remake is the final Friday, but apparently they're working on a Friday the 13th series. Isn't like A24 working on a Friday the 13th series?
Something like that, yeah. Which is I that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I'm definitely curious about it.
There was a Friday 13th show way long ago in the I think in the 80s that had a few seasons that I don't know much about it, but I know there was like a show and
Really?
I never watched any of it. I wonder if I can like find is there any information about this?
Wow, I actually had no idea about that. I know that there's the like documentary series, the Crystal Lake Memories, which is sort
Yeah.
of an extended documentary series about the series, but I didn't know there was a TV show.
Friday the 13th, the series, was a television series that ran for three seasons from October 3rd, 1987 to May 26th, 1990. Um, it series follows Mickey and Ryan, who are cousins, who inherit an antique store and they start selling antiques and they learn that some of the items are cursed. I don't know if this follows
That
Jason or not.
it sounds unrelated to the movie series at all.
Yes, it is technically like the same, like it is branded the same,
Yeah, right. It looks yeah.
but maybe this is going in the direction of having it more like anthological, um, like what they maybe originally wanted with the TV with the movies. I'm
Hmm.
not really sure. I'm not reading enough about this right now, nor do I
Right.
particularly want to. But has
And
anyone
it,
out there seen that? I mean, that would be like pretty interesting. If you've seen the Friday 13th the series, uh, is it at all similar to these, or is it unrelated? Is it worth watching? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
yeah, and it appears that the A24 series maybe they're making it with Peacock, so it might just be streaming on Peacock. It's called Crystal Lake as of now. And apparently it's supposed to be a prequel to the original uh, movies. So that's basically what we know about it now.
Interesting. That that's kind of fascinating. A
Yeah.
prequel sounds like just counselors bullying this one kid, but okay.
I think it might Jason's mom might be the main character, perhaps.
Ah,
Like a younger version of her. I'm not sure. We'll
interesting.
see when who knows if the show even happens. People have been talking about the 13th Friday the 13th for so long and nothing ever comes through. So we'll see if it actually happens.
it is an important number. So like you gotta do a good one, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean they're doing the TV series, so they still won't be the 13th movie. So
That's
there's
right.
maybe if the series is successful, they'll make a movie after. I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this tier list. I'm happy that Jason Lives got S tier all to its own. I think that makes sense. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah, I'm happy with this too. I think it's it fits pretty well in my I think especially from like the bottom half is like pretty much exactly probably where I'd put it. And then even if I'd move a few things around, I think it's a good compromise. And yeah, I think overall the series can be really enjoyable. You've got some goofy stuff going on, but it is tough because there is also, I mean, like some of the movies are just so unwatchable. Like the bottom three movies here are like I don't know a time to rewatch those.
They are quite poor, but I will say I think the Friday the 13th series is more enjoyable than the Halloween series and maybe even the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Yeah, those are I would probably agree with those.
I
I'll say
mean,
yeah.
just looking at this, there's probably 4 or 5 movies that I could see myself rewatching like on a decently regular basis. And Nightmare on Elm Street has 1 or 2, and Halloween has like one.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's you know, now that we've done this list, I'm like looking forward to Friday 13th being like, do I my initial thought was to rewatch Jason X, and maybe I still will. But also I'm like, maybe I should just rewatch Jason Lives. It's at the top of our list. It's a pretty awesome movie.
Yeah, it
It could
is.
be pretty fun.
So it's a good way to celebrate Friday the 13th.
Well, like we said, let us know how you're celebrating Friday the 13th in the comments, or shoot us an email or find us on Letterboxd. Our email is mindyourmoviespodcast@gmail.com. Our letterbox, Mind Your Movies Podcast. You can find us on there. On there, we've got all of our links for our other social medias. We've got all the places you can find our podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you guys want to do. And we'd love to hear from you guys. So
Yeah. And on the YouTube, aren't our links in the description on the YouTube?
they are, yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to find us pretty much however you want. But yeah, if you're
Yeah.
watching this on YouTube, all you gotta do is just scroll down a little bit, and you'll be able to click on all those little links.
Nice.
You know, give us a little like, give us a little five
Hell yeah.
stars. You know,
And we're enjoying the tier list. If anyone has any ideas for tier lists, shoot us, a comment or something. But yeah, it's fun.
yeah,
So next episode, we're talking Robert Altman, we're talking MASH and The Long Goodbye, and then the episode after that, we're going to be doing 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. And if there's anything weird in that episode, it's because we recorded it in advance. So if there's anything that doesn't make any sense, that's why.
that's right. Um, yeah, that's it. We will see you guys next week.
And don't forget to mind your movies.